Okay, this video is going to deal with char and charAt. And so let's take a look at what this is dealing with. So char is a data type that contains one character. So char is a data type, and just like int is a data type that holds ints, double is a data type that holds doubles. Char is a data type that holds characters like a string, only it's limited to holding only one character. It cannot hold more than one character. An example would be if you were to declare a variable that holds a char or one character. It would be char is the data type, letter would be the variable, is assigned C would be the value. It's just like saying int and then age is the variable, and then you assign it, I can't write with this thing, and then you assign it to be, let's say, 7. Same thing, it's a declaration with initialization. That's what this is, only it's for a char. Notice, however, that the letter, which is normally a string, as a char it only has one, it's a single quotation mark or an apostrophe. Alright, so you don't use quotation marks, double quotation marks around it, or else it would be a string and it wouldn't be able to be stored in a char memory location. It cannot hold a string letter, but it can hold a, let's see if I can erase this. Oh, I'm trying to erase with the wrong thing. Let me see. We have to go here. So what it will hold is a single quotes. That's what it will hold. Okay, so then we go on. charAt is a method, and you can tell a method because it has the parentheses after its identifier or its name. So it says charAt is a method that extracts one character from a string. It extracts or returns one character from a string. So charAt 5, and we're going to demonstrate this in a second so it'll make sense at that point, but so if we have charAt 5, that means it returns the character that is in the 5th position of a string. Okay, so charAt 5 means it returns the character that's in the 5th position of a string. If you want to return the 7th position, a letter that's from the, or a character from the 7th position, you would just go charAt 7. So this is the argument that's within the parentheses. So let's go ahead and take a look at Java and see how this works. So as you can see here, we have a string and its name is str. Now str is a common variable name that authors or textbooks use when just giving a general string, so don't get this confused as some kind of special reserved word. You only use str in the method if that is actually the name of the variable. So if this was instead var, like to stand for variable, you would put a var down here in the method. So be careful that you don't get that mixed up. Anyways, here's the important thing here. The position numbers of a string. So here we have a string, welcome to Xavier. The string position, the first position is a 0. So it starts at 0. So it's not like as if you're counting. It's just a position number. It starts at 0. Alright, so the number in the letter or character in the 4th position is 0, or as an O. In the 11th position, it's a capital X. Okay, so in this line of code here, we're going to store in a char variable. We're going to call it char1. We're going to assign it the character that's in the 5th position of the string up here. So notice that this is the str is the name of the string that contains the name of the variable that contains the string that you want to extract a letter or a character from. Then you have the name of the method, and then your parentheses. Now in this parentheses you have then the position of the character that you want to extract. So if you want to extract the M, then you're going to choose a 5 because 5 is in the 5th position. But it's important to realize this is not the 5th character in the string. If we start counting like you would normally count, then there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so you notice that the letter in the 5th position is actually the 6th character in the string. It's important to understand that relationship. And so if I were now to, let's say, print this or run this, then it should extract the M, and then down here it's going to print the M. So first we compile, and then we run it, and so you can see how it prints the M. So if we want to print the first character, okay, the first character, if you remember, if you just start counting at the beginning, is the W. That's the first character. But it's in the 0 position. So we'll run that, and it prints the capital W. Now it's not just a W, it's a capital W. It's important, it's all case sensitive. The 4th character. And as you start to see the pattern, then you would realize that the 4th character means the 5th, or the position in number 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 would be the 4th character. Well, that's position 3. It's always, the position is 1 less. So we would type a 3 in here, and it should print the C. Alright? Now here's a challenge then, and this would be cool if you could try to figure this out yourself, but I will show you how to do this. The last character for any string. So how would you print the last character? So if I were to change this in here, so it prints the last character of Welcome to Xavier, but if I changed the string, it would print the last character of that. Well, here's the hint, if you were going to try to do this by yourself, is that you would, the question is this, and the other thing is that, well, the first hint is that you would use a method, a substring or a length method, which we've already learned. But the question is, how many characters are in this string? So if you were to do the length method, it would actually tell you how many characters there were. But of course you can count that yourself. And so if you do that, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So there are 17 characters. Well, what is the position of the last character? Well, it's 16. Well, how does the number of characters relate to the position of the last character? Well, the position of the last character is 1 less than the number of characters. So what we want to do then is we want to take the length of the string and subtract 1. Well, how do you find the length of a string, or how many characters are in a string? Well, we've already learned this, and so you take the name of the variable, str in this case. We're going to take length, and then in the quotation marks, nothing, or in parentheses, nothing. So string or str.length is going to return the length, or in this case, it's going to return a 17. So str.length returns a 17. And then it's going to subtract 1, which will give us 16. So essentially what this is saying is the char at, or the character at 16, which is going to be the last string, or the last character, position of the last character. So if we were to run this, then it should print that R. So let's take this, change the string to just welcome. Okay, so str.length, well, the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So str.length should return a 7, and then minus 1. So str charAt, this is really saying what is the character at, what's 7 minus 1? 6. It's going to return the character at 6. Well, position 6 is the last character. So it should print the E, which it does. Okay, so it prints that E. So this will work for any string that you put. Now I just want to remind you of one thing, because this is something some students are getting mixed up. If I had a variable, greeting, well, this would be, if that string's in the variable greeting, then this would say greeting. So make sure that you understand that str is just a simple way to kind of do a generic variable. Alright, so that is char as a data type and charAt as a method, and that's how this works.